Welcome back. Staying safe online is so important for the whole family. So I'm excited to welcome Kyle Hanslovan, ex-NSA hacker and the founder and CEO of Huntress. Kyle has the expert tips to safeguard us from phishing, online predators, and identity theft. Welcome to the show, Kyle.
Absolutely pumped to be here. Thank you.
So, as we move into an era of smart homes and internet driven devices, what new cybersecurity risks do these pose for our families, and how can they actually secure their connected devices?
I'll tell you, as a fellow, intelligence expert, somebody who lived doing espionage, one of the first things my family even asked me is, "Hey, Kyle, can I be using these smart devices? Should I be using and connecting maybe the baby monitor? What about my Alexa or Google?" And I'll tell you first and foremost, even in 2024, we all have security threats, but it's important not to get overly paranoid. So I myself use these same Internet of Things or home devices. Now, the things that are really important, I would tell you kind of two things for the audience. First, stick with brands you know. The reason this is so darn important is just like software on your laptop or your phone, these devices have to constantly get updated. And if they're not getting updated, chances are somebody shady on the outside is going to want to take advantage of them. Next, right? We all have usernames, we all have passwords. And although we've been told 1,000 times, please turn on that second factor, that extra code you get to log in. I tell you, more often than not, still in 2024, folks are not setting these settings up. And what happens is if you happen to reuse maybe the same password on social media as you do, protect your own, like maybe the camera for the baby monitor. Sometimes someone will use that password against you, and then you have some creep talking to your child, maybe somebody eavesdropping on your Alexa. And so my advice goes twofold. Use this technology, understand its limits, and at the end of the day, stick with the brands that you know to help make sure that they can get as best patched as possible.
So, how can parents protect their kids from cyberbullying on social media and gaming platforms? And what steps should they take if they do suspect that their child is being targeted?
Yeah, good questions. And I've got three, right? I've got a 20-year-old and two teens. And so they've grown with devices in their hands, grown up on, some form of whether it's Candy Crush or Roblox. And I'll tell you, a lot of these platforms, they're both like ripe for targeting little ones for both like scamming, right? Sometimes it's just as simple as it starts with maybe a gift, and then someone is convincing you to give up maybe the passwords or trade your best items. That type of stuff really leads to cyberbullying. You don't realize it, but a lot of kids, have a lot of emotional attachment to their online persona. Other things, though, when it goes from, just simple nefarious fraud to more of the stuff that's more concerning, like maybe they try to target your children, put them in a situation where maybe they have them download some software, maybe they have them send some pictures, maybe they have them give up like their school location. And you can imagine these are all the beginnings of like not just bullying, but could become like cyber grooming as well. So the advice I give parents hand in hand is one, this goes back to good old fashioned parenting, having conversations in advance, understanding that there's no way we can keep track of every single app. I know some advice out there says like limit the apps and minimize the time. All those are great pieces of advice, but the reality is you need your little one to be able to go out there and somewhat fend on their own as best as possible, considering what the threats are. And that usually means having a conversation ahead of time. And I'll tell you, if you suspect, usually it's odd behavior. They're up late at night, not just surfing, but maybe trying to find themselves in areas that are less likely to come in contact with a parent. That could be in a basement, that could be over a friend's house. And if you do suspect these things, being able to still have the trust, but verify through your kid's device, right? I'm not talking about getting into their privacy, right? But I am talking about making sure they're safe. And the things that most parents don't know what to do is when you do find grooming, when you do find scamming, a lot of these social media platforms only do so much. So I would encourage you, you smash that report button, make sure those profiles get reported. But if it's gone to the point where someone's actually looking to meet up locally, this is where you can even file a good old fashioned local police report, because if it's happening to your little one in that area, chances are it's happening to others. So obviously that's me saying stay safe. Understand it's not the early 2000s. It is the late 2020s. And where I'm going with this is we really have to be aware and be vigilant, because as technology changes, as AI and stuff gets used, more and more of these scams, especially fraud, hacking, and poaching, get just more and more technical as well. So stay safe.
This was very informative. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.